and outflow of Bitcoin. Okay,
Right.
so in total, there was there was 11 Bitcoin ETFs. Okay,
Hmm.
and then there's going to be outflows from GBTC because apparently GBTC is selling Bitcoin at a premium. So people
Right.
are selling GBTC to get their Bitcoin cashed out. And overall, there were 240 million or 5,581 Bitcoin inflow into a Bitwise account per day. Bitcoin issues 900 Bitcoins. Okay, so in
Okay.
one of these accounts, it was 5,581. In 6.2 days, supply gobbled up in one ETF alone. Okay,
Wow.
so we got 11 Bitcoin ETFs. It's going to be bloody, and the outflows of GBTC. There's going to be outflows of GBTC, but the inflows keep issuance and get cut in half. It's going to be fireworks. So basically, what he's saying is that even though GBTC sold a lot, there is a lot of there's going to be a lot more buying. Okay, so I'm going to just look at the charts right now, and let's see what we can see here. All right, so the charts. Let me just get that up. Boom. Okay, so this is what the charts look like right now. Oh yeah, I am trading Filecoin. I think it's a good buy. Not financial advice, but Filecoin is looking good to me at the moment.
Yeah.
So this is what the charts look like, right? And some people are worried that this is going to go deeper. So it has broken this trend line.
Okay.
There's a trend line going up, so it's broken. It's now below it, but there is another support line here. Okay, somewhere
Right.
around here, there's a support line. So, it's still hanging about around 43K. Honestly, at the risk of sounding like Ben Stiller, what is this? Is this a dump for ants? It's not really that bad a dump, right?
Yeah.
And I think it has got to do with the fact that there was a lot of musical chairs that was going around on the day of the ETF. Okay, so
Okay.
let's talk a little bit about these musical chairs. What was actually happening? Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can find it.
ETF fails though. Our title is.
Yes, ETF fails exactly. So this
Why
is
would you say it failed?
so I fails question mark.
Question mark. Okay. ETF
Yeah.
fails. Bitcoin crashing soon. Who
Yes.
knows?
Who
Stay
knows?
tuned to find out.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the thing, right? Watcher Guru was talking about 7.7 trillion asset manager Vanguard removes Bitcoin futures from ETF on its platform, right? So what?
Removes. How did
Yes.
they have the feature for ETF before the ETF was even on?
No. So this is what happened, right? The Bitcoin ETF launched, and people could technically buy, but Vanguard has come out and said, you know what? Even though it's offered as an ETF, none of our customers are allowed to buy it. It's not in our principles. Whatever. Bitcoin is
Oh,
evil. Blah blah blah.
futures. I
Yeah.
thought features. Damn it.
Oh, okay, all
Okay.
right.
I
Yes.
thought like app features. How do you have the app features and you remove it before it's
Right,
even
right.
there?
Fair
Futures
enough.
makes sense. So
Right,
meaning to
right.
say it's not listing this future on its
Yes,
platform. Okay.
yes. So what he's saying is that it's basically Vanguard is refusing to sell Bitcoin to their customers, and eventually, customer, you're gonna just go to another broker, right? If I
Yeah.
can't buy it at Vanguard, I'll move somewhere else to get it, right? So it looks like there's money that wants to come in that can't quite come in. They gotta like move things around, right?
Right.
So even with that, though, all right, you can see that Bitcoin is actually doing quite well. Okay, so let's have a look at this. BlackRock took 11,500 BTC from the supply in 2 days.
Wow.
900 Bitcoin is issued daily. 11,500 BTC was sucked from the system in 2 days by one player. That alone is about 13 days of supply. Okay. In addition, IBIT spot ETF only managed to average 25% of the volume over 2 days. We can assume 46K in 2 days was sucked out, blah, 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 net. Okay. So basically, what he's saying is that there was a lot of Bitcoin that was bought up in these last 2 days,
Okay.
even though there was outflows. Okay. So let's have a look at this guy. He works in Bloomberg, Eric Balchunas.
Hey, what's the name of that
Okay.
site with the
And
graphs
Eric
again?
Balchunas.
Trading View.
Trading View, yes. 2 days in the books, the 9 new bonds have taken 1.84 billion in cash, overwhelming GBTC's negative 579 outflows for a net total of 819 million. Okay, so you
Okay.
can see that there is selling pressure from GBTC because people are taking profits, right? But if we assume the buy pressure is going to stay about the same, or maybe even there, if the buy pressure is not coming in one go, so we're not getting that God candle, it appears so. I'm guessing over the next 2 weeks, people are going to try to sort out their portfolio and decide how they want to buy it. And GBTC is going to eventually run out of Bitcoin to sell into the market. And then it's a question of, will the inflows keep coming? If the inflows keep coming after GBTC is done, we're going to see a buy up of Bitcoin like crazy. And it's actually going to be, this is my theory, my opinion on the market, not financial advice. I
Right.
think that if Bitcoin doesn't crash in the next 2 weeks, it's not going to go down a lot. We're not
Right.
going to see the big 30% retracements like we did in the past.
No elephant
Um,
candles.
there's no big like downwards move, I believe, simply because of all of this buying. Okay. So and you can see here that there's still a lot of bullish signs even with that retracement, right? You can see it hasn't broken this trend line on the Bitcoin
Right.
ETF. Bitcoin tends to perform its pre-halving rally 60 days before the halving, which means if BTC is going to perform a deeper retrace during the pre-halving period, it has to occur in the next 30 days or so, right?
Okay.
Otherwise no big retracement. So it's either going to happen in the next 30 days. I think 2 weeks, but according to Rex Capital, in the next 30 days, based on some fractals, right?
Right.
Besides here as well, let's be rational and exclude all price. We won't be able to get all the data until Tuesday, but we know about all of this. Sellers of GBTC will get exhausted sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, inflows with the ETF will only accelerate as time goes on, as education is getting comfortable with the asset. So he's saying that there's going to be more and more inflows and less outflows. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And this is another interesting thing, all right?
Right.
So the ETF was closed on the weekend, right?
Right.
But there is a massive non-ETF Bitcoin buyer who keeps accumulating very aggressively. Okay, this
Right.
address has
A whale.
gotten about 40,000 BTC before the ETF approval and bought about 2,500 Bitcoin in the last 2 days, holding about 1.8 billion. Okay,
Wow.
so you can see people be buying Bitcoin. People
Right.
are going to be buying, and people still be buying, all right? Because you can buy it on the
Right.
ETF now, and you can buy it here. So there appears to be a lot of buying, all right? And uh, what happens is that you're going to see eventually all of this buying reflecting in the charts, right? When is it going to be? Soon? Is it going to be not so soon? Personally, I think even though sometimes I feel people feel that you need to have a deep retracement for the market to be healthy, quote unquote healthy, right?
Okay.
Um, but I actually think that that's under normal circumstances. Some other circumstances might not actually be the case. So we'll wait and see. Or maybe the retracement might come much, much later after you've got a lot of this ETF buying. Because the thing is that over the next few weeks, people start to rearrange their portfolio to buy Bitcoin, right? In the ETFs. Would you want to be selling Bitcoin at these prices?
Of
You
course
know?
not.
So that's the thing. Somebody's coming in to buy after you. I don't know. I just get this feeling like that is the bottom. Like where we are right now, this is the bottom. As not financial advice, but I just have a feeling this is. And if we don't see any deep retracement over the next 2 weeks, we're not going to see that deep retracement anymore.
Wait, but that
Yeah.
implies that there still might be another bottom if this retracement happens.
Yeah, so that's why for me fundamentally I don't see the logic in Bitcoin dropping further, simply because people will be able to buy up all that Bitcoin right at a cheaper price. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. This is showing the market dominance. Bitcoin's market dominance seemed to have peaked out at about 55%, and now it's gone down. It's holding right now at about 50.9%.
Oh,
But if we don't see huge inflows coming in one go, I suspect this probably is going to start dropping and people are going to start going into altcoins. Total 3 is doing pretty good. The sign is showing that it's altcoin season, or it's going to be altcoin season very soon.
okay.
Um, It's already going up, and the trajectory is upwards. So if we go up over 500 billion, I think that we're going to see more and more people dumping into altcoins because right now people are buying Bitcoin. So people are also afraid that Bitcoin is going to drop. So I also want to share this one video here, talking about Bitcoin.
And not under government control,
Okay,
it
so
is a
hold on.
haven for fraud.
Crypto.
Yeah, it was always a hot dumpster fire.
Always?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that it was all fraud. Some of it was a pyramid scheme. There's never been
All of it wasn't fraud. Some of it was a pyramid scheme. That's hilarious. Yeah, hold on.
anything there.
Who is this guy?
It serves no purpose. It's not a store of value. It's not a medium of exchange. And as we
What?
have seen, if you want it decentralized and not under government control, it is a haven for fraudsters. And now it is in the process of going to zero, except for Bitcoin, which will probably go negative, because if we're moving into a world with carbon taxes, you have to take into account the energy that it took to produce it in the first place.
Well, that's certainly playing out with like FTX.
Yeah.
Where you're finding out that
There'll be
it's a
more.
house of cards.
Yeah, there'll
Do
be
you,
more.
do you feel like that's just sort of opened the door for people to examine all of crypto now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like as soon as you have one of the big ones go down, it's just
And just go down catastrophically within a week.
Yeah, I mean, just there's no intrinsic value to this asset.
So there you go. When I see stuff like that, what I feel is, holy shit, we're still early.
It's early, boys.
We're
Early
still
days.
like,
Early days.
I was having these conversations with people back in 2016.
Yeah.
So this is like, what is this? This is like 8 years later, dude. 2024, right? So like Bitcoin has no intrinsic value.
This
all
guy
of this,
don't know what he's talking about.
it's all done by FTX collapse. That means that Bitcoin is also a fraud, and Bitcoin can go negative. How the hell is it going to go negative? That part I don't understand, right?
And this Joe Rogan guy just laps it up.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan's not a crypto expert, so
He's not an anything expert.
he's not an anything expert, correct? Yeah. So that's the thing, lah. But when I see stuff like this, I feel a little bit happy, annoyed but happy at the same time.
Right. By the way,
Because
who was that guy?
I have no idea. Peter Zehan, his name. I don't know who Peter Zehan is. But I look at it and I feel that we're still early, Some people are thinking this is going to be the last cycle for Bitcoin. I somehow feel like you got one more after this. Because
This guy is a geopolitics guy.
probably, yeah. I do see some smart people talking about crypto, but it's like they really do not know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I just watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
So they're like, oh, it's got $4 million in cryptocurrency. Okay. And then after that, they plug the thing in and it says decrypting blockchain. Decrypting blockchain? What does that mean? So it's like, let's just take tech words and put it together and it'll make sense. And the thing is that because that would fly in a movie that went worldwide starring Tom Cruise, I'm like, dude, we are still so early. We are still so early. It's crazy,
In fact, this is just the part where the Joe public starts smelling the air. He's like, "What's that?"
Yes, exactly. I just want to share this last one from Mustache, El Crypto Prof. He's saying that never fade an 8-year trend line on ETH BTH. Bottom is in my opinion. From now on, altcoins will continuously rise against BTC. Anyone who was around 2017 and 2021 knows what I'm talking about. From this point, many altcoins have made 30x or more. My body is ready, so he says. So you can see here, this is the trend line. It's held for 8 years apparently, and right now it looks like he's thinking a big altcoin season.
You know what I'm thinking when you say that? You know what I'm thinking when you say that? It's like it's so convenient to forget the old adage that past performance does not, guarantee future success.
Of course.
At these kind of times, that suddenly everybody's like, "Hey, look at this! It's done this in the past. It's guaranteed to do this in the future."
Right. No, I look at whatever technical analysis people give, right? And it's something that you should listen, but you don't necessarily need to agree. But it's good information to know. Like this chart. This chart is is great in terms of it gives you some additional information about how
Right.
Bitcoin behaved in the past. Because if you're trying to predict the future, so to speak, right, you need to know what happened in the past. What did it do the last time this happened, right?
Right.
So that can give you some indication. But of course, there's no guarantees in crypto, right?
That's true. No
Yeah.
guarantees in anything in life, boys.
No guarantee that you'll wake up tomorrow, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, and this is another chart. It's from Stock Money Lizards, and basically every time it crashes, people are like, "It's over! It's over! This whole thing is done for," and then it pumps back up. It's over. Okay, it's over. So previously the deeps were really deep. This deep, these dips.
Dips.
A little bit of a tongue twister there. These dips don't appear to be that deep. Right. These deep dips. Can you say that? These deep dips. Say that real quick, dude. These deep
dips.
dips. One more time. Say it.
These deep dips.
Okay, good. Okay,
Slip,
not bad.
slips, tits.
Okay, well, the last part I didn't add in. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, I think what's happening right now is that there's a lot of musical chairs that's going around right now. People are trying to move their money. They can't quite buy the Bitcoin ETF. They want to buy it. A lot of asset managers have been waiting for the ETF to get approved. Maybe they haven't gotten around to be like, oh yeah, that Bitcoin ETF thing. Yeah, you want to buy that? Okay, let's go and buy some next week. So I'm guessing it's going to take about 2 weeks for them to sort everything out. There's some sell pressure from GBTC. When that dries up, and a lot of people start to get around to actually buying Bitcoin and not having an account with Vanguard and moving over or moving some money over or getting the approval to move their funds over, whatever it is, it's going to take time for people to get all their ducks in a barrel. And I think along the way, we're going to see buying. So in a way that it's good. It's good that there's restrictions and people are not all jumping in one go, because I think that's going to give us a slow, steady rise up, right?
Right.
Especially if you're in altcoins, because if it's a slow, steady ride up, your altcoins are going to keep up with whatever the price is. But if it's like a huge spike, everybody's going to dump their altcoins into Bitcoin. You're going to see a huge crash in altcoins, and then altcoins are going to catch up later on. So that's actually more profitable for the market manipulators. But they might not have the luxury of doing that, right? Because this is the thing. The big whales in crypto are now just the average whales, right? The average manipulators.
Whale.
Yeah, there's so many people with so much money now who are coming in, right? So
what's the world financial market size? Huh?
Okay, so let's not talk about the world. Let's just talk about gold. Okay.
Okay.
Gold market cap. So gold market cap is about 13.8 trillion.
Okay.
Okay.
I see global is 109 trillion.
109 trillion. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you look at coin market cap, total crypto market cap is 1.8 trillion.
Right.
And this is total crypto, yeah. And at its peak, it was at almost 3 trillion. It was at 2.8 trillion. Okay. So if we were everything in cryptocurrency were to be gold's market cap, you've got like another 4x from here in terms of total market cap. But there's other thing that you need to keep in mind. Every dollar that goes into Bitcoin actually pumps the price of Bitcoin higher. Let's see if I can find.
You mean higher than $1?
Higher than $1, yes.
Right.
Bitcoin dollar by Bitcoin. Let's see if I can find that tweet. It's something like every dollar that goes in, it increases the price of Bitcoin by $8 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't find it right now, that particular article. But if that much money comes in and gradually starts to just buy up, because this is another thing, the custodials for the Bitcoin, right? They have OTC sales to the ETFs, right? So
Right.
OTC is over the counter, and these ETFs, they're buying all the Bitcoin that they have obviously sold, right? And what has happened is that these guys right now, they've already got their Bitcoin early. so they can give it to the ETFs. But eventually, they're going to start running out of Bitcoin on the exchanges as well.
Right.
Yep. So this is a case of it started. There's some sell pressure. Not everybody can buy. The exchanges like Coinbase have the Bitcoin ready, which they've already accumulated for OTC. But that's going to work like at the beginning. But as time goes by, you'll see that there's going to be like a chokehold, right?
Right.
There's going to be like a bottleneck somewhere, and then it's going to be the only way to do it is to pay more for Bitcoin, right? Because they don't have enough. So looking at the fact that Bitcoin whales are also buying, I think it's going to be bullish. I mean, the fundamentals are showing bullish, and maybe the technicals show that there is some bearish sentiment, but I don't know. I don't think so, man. I think the fundamentals are going to actually override this. So, not financial advice, but I think this might be the bottom. And if it's not, you got 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks to prove otherwise. Because you got 2 weeks to prove otherwise. Because I think by that time there's going to be too much buy pressure. So then the question comes, okay, if we're going to go higher, where do we go? All right. So it already touched 50K. Oh, let me change this. Yeah, not futures.
Bars.
Okay.
14 bars, it needs to do like a 22% change, a 22% drop.
USDT. Let's say this is OKX. All right. So if you look at the previous high, I would say that it's already touched 49, right? So it's already touched 50 actually. So if we were to go up, where is the next resistance? The next resistance is here. The next resistance is close to the all-time high, which is at about 59. And of course, 60 is going to be the next one. And so 60 and 70, you know, like I personally was thinking it was going to go up to this level and retrace. But now I'm not so sure. I think it's possible we might go higher and maybe retraces will be not as deep. And then it comes down to how long is this actually going to go on for? How long is this going to be there's a word where they said left shifted market.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to see if I can find that.
Everything's left shifted now, huh?
You know what that is, right?
Not exactly. I know what that is in like systems development and software engineering.
So tell me, what does it mean in systems development and software engineering?
So basically, in software engineering, left shifted means you move the responsibility of some feature deeper down the line, kind of.
Okay. So not quite that. I guess it's not quite the same. This is, they call it left translated cycle. Sorry, about the same lah. So a left translated cycle basically means that the blow off top comes earlier. Okay, it goes up a lot higher, faster, more violent, and then blow off top earlier. So he believes that Bitcoin is going to peak 2 months after the halving, something like that, really soon, in like June or July, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And then it's going to be a very long bear market. So personally, I think that you got to keep all options on the table. But personally, I don't think so. I do think that we might see some crazy prices because an ETF could be like another halving. So you got 2 halvings in one cycle. And if there's 2 halvings in one cycle, that means that likely we're going to go higher, maybe longer, you know. So I do think the timing for the cycle is going to be different. It's either going to be a lot longer or a lot shorter. So take profits when you can, because I don't think this is going to be normal timing where everybody cashes out at the top in 2025. That's going to be the 4-year cycle. I somehow doubt that it's going to be the case. It's either going to be this year or
I don't know.
1 year earlier, 1 year late. What?
Scouring the internet, though, I feel like there's a lot of people who bought it at 60,000.
Yep. And then those guys are going to sell. Those guys are going to sell exactly at that price. Because finally, I'm not underwater, so they'll sell. The muggles who don't understand how the market works, right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess in summary, don't be too scared. I think right now things still look very bullish. Not financial advice, but I was right last week about the volatility. So um, so I think
But
uh, I think that it's going to be this is the bottom, and when the ETFs open again, I thought it was going to crash this weekend. Like I was looking, seeing like, okay, let's see if it crashes this weekend. No crash. Everything seems to be fine. Seems to be people
uh,
buying also.
uh,
So eventually, you're going to see all this buy pressure add up to something, and then yeah, maybe we'll see some movements in altcoins as well. So yeah,
yeah,
I think this is going to be a big altcoin cycle. Altcoins are going to go nuts because I think Bitcoin is maybe not as sexy, if that makes sense.
right,
People can
right.
make more money in altcoins, so probably the crypto OGs are all going to altcoins as well. So yeah,
How about the SUSDT? How's that guy doing?
SUSDT. What do you mean?
ETH.
ETH? Yeah.
Ethereum. What's Ethereum doing?
Ethereum ETF. You mean is it? Or
Not
you want to
ETF.
see?
The just
Oh,
ETH.
the chart. Oh, the chart.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. Yeah,
What's that guy doing?
I think it's going to do quite well actually. Hold on, let's have a look. Yeah, no, Ethereum is also showing. Is mirroring Bitcoin in a lot of ways, but it's not had a deep crash. So it only went from like 2,500 to like 2,550. Only like it didn't even 2,700. Sorry. So it only gone down like about 170, something like that. Not much of a crash.
Right.
Long term, it still looks very bullish to me. People are saying that Ethereum is going to pump and it's going to cause the what is the word? It's going to cause the uh, altcoins to pump as well. One thing to note though is that the open interest, okay,
Mhm.
um, looks as if it's pretty high at the moment. So the open interest is basically all the leverage that's being used on these coins. But I don't know if this open interest is I don't know if this open interest is for longs or for shorts. So I don't know if you're overheated at the top or overheated at the bottom. But it looks like there's a lot of leverage that's being used right now. I'd be careful of that. Be careful of leverage if you want to sleep at night. So yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Anything else you
Nah,
want to add?
I think I'll stick with my thing whereby I believe whatever price you buy it now, within the next couple of months, or maybe maybe up to 6 months, whatever you buy it at, it's not gonna make that much of a difference. It's you just buy it anytime you can. Anytime you got a little extra, just buy it. Not financial advice, but
DCA.
DCA boys.
All right. Okay, thanks for that tip, Fadil. It's actually a very good way to enter any trade. Actually, DCA.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Build up your
Timing the
positions
market is not as good as time in
in the
the
market.
market.
Yeah, Fadil is like this wise man, crypto wise man that you climb the hill, and he's at the top of the hill meditating,
Yeah. Seen these
failing,
stories a couple of times.
failing to prepare for the bull market is giving giving power to the bull market. I don't know. I messed that up. The original one was giving failing to master your power is giving power to your failure, something like that.
Oh, right, right,
So
right.
anyway, okay, guys, we're gonna be back again hopefully on Friday. Today was
Okay.
a double episode week. That's why we're on Sunday. But otherwise, we'll be on every Friday night.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Ciao,
Adios.
guys. Yeah. Bye.
Ciao.